now. Oh, my back's sore.
What?
My back is sore.
Oh.
Alrighty. Can't believe how much it's raining.
Right?
You should see though, like my feet ended up getting like really wet.
You walked home?
Yeah. And it wasn't too bad. I don't mind walking home as much in the rain.
Yeah, true.
Just because then, like, you know. But, like, my feet, I mean, my boots have kind of cracks in them. I don't know, so the water, and it's usually fine if it's just snow. But when it's like,
yeah, that's
and like there's some sections of the sidewalk, I should have walked on the road, really. Because there were sections of the sidewalk that were like this much water. Like it was really, but it was raining like all yesterday, and like it looked like it died down a little bit, like when I got into work, but and then,
yeah, no, as far as I could tell, it rained like all night long.
yeah, I think it had just like died down a little, like it hadn't like stopped. But now it's all, you know, it's still like going like crazy. Can't tell what the original color was. Well, like I'm looking at this picture, I'm trying to figure out what like the original. Maybe on the tail it's not shaded as much. So apparently that job I was telling you about, Jordan's job, it actually will get posted.
Line for no reason.
Yeah, basically. But I just found out yesterday.
So you're gonna apply for it?
Well, you know, now that it's actually gonna be a real thing, I'm like, man, do I really want it though? Like, it seems so desirable at the time, but then I think about it more, you know, and I'm like, do I really want to work like with McDougal that much?
That's what I've been saying. We're like,
No, I know, and I'm just like, when it's now that it's an actual, like, it's actually possible. Apparently, some guy who's been with the company for 100,000 years has his eye on that job, so chances are pretty good I won't get it anyway if he actually wants it.
yeah, but are you gonna apply for it?
Not sure yet. It hasn't even been posted yet, so it might still be a while.
Yeah. But hypothetically.
Yeah, I mean, I can always turn it down, right? If I get it and just be like, nah, I changed my mind. You know, so I could put in for it if for another reason than to see if I'd even get it, but
Why would you do that just to see if you get it? If you don't apply, what's the point?
yeah, no, I know. I'm still waffling.
Let's do it.
Yeah. So it looks like less impressive than others. He seems to make use of this, like, I don't know if it's a lens flare, but this, like, it's like a sun effect with tons of, like, rays. Like, I don't know how well you can see, but all the rays of light, he does that a lot.
I can see you.
I'm starting to see patterns in all those things. Lens flare, like that. I don't know what you would even call it. Like, maybe it's a type of lens flare. It's when there's like a bright light and it's just like, but there's lots of like it's not quite the lens flare where you get like the circle thing. Keep switching. But yeah, anyway, it's the same effect he uses a lot, apparently. I remember when I was in grade 10, we were using, I was messing around, grade 10 or 11, I was messing around with, what the hell was the name? It was a Corel program.
A what?
Corel or something like that. They do WordPerfect.
What?
They make WordPerfect. Oh, it's a
software?
Yeah.
Coral.
Corel?
Coral.
Yeah.
Coral.
I've always pronounced it corral. I don't. Maybe I've been saying it wrong this whole time.
I don't know.
Corral. And either way, they have some like illustration program or paint program, some kind of like photo editing type program.
Yes.
And I remember discovering like the lens flare, and I was like, oh, this makes everything look so cool. And I was like adding it to like everything.
Yeah, lens flare. Yeah, when you're just starting lens flare, it's pretty cool. Definitely so fun.
But now it's like kind of like a, I don't know, it's got like a negative sort of connotation.
Yeah, it's kind of cheap.
Yeah. I wonder if you can like get away with like if you use a lens, like can you even use a lens flare like well, where it doesn't look like cheap? Like because whenever someone sees a lens flare, like oh, there's a lens flare, I'm like, real, like it's mockingly.
I don't know. I guess it depends on how you use it.
Yeah.
I can't think of an example that doesn't cheap.
Yeah. It would have to be like super subtle or something. In fact, I wonder if this has that. Must be.
Yeah.
Get it to work. It applies it to like a single layer instead of like I'd have to like flatten the whole image. Yeah, let's try on one of these guys. The vocalist. Cheetah. He looks like he can use some lens flare action. It wouldn't work. It didn't work because it was an empty layer.
Really?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Yeah. Alright, here we go. Yeah.
It's not the classic lens flare image with the sensor.
Yeah, you can kind of. I think it's because of where I placed it. You can come out these lines. Hello. How are you? Katsampus? I'm sure I'm saying that right. I was just messing around. How's it going, man?
Have you seen this cutscene? The cat's preparing food?
No, I haven't seen it before. I just saw it a second ago, like, just, like, kind of as it ended. Like,
yeah,
oh,
yeah,
man,
it's-
it looks, yeah, it looks super cute.
I'd buy that for $1.
I'd buy that for $1. I thought, I was honestly a little surprised that Red Letter Media didn't like hate the new RoboCop movie more than they didn't seem to really hate it. They're just like, eh. I thought they were really gonna be like, yeah, this one sucked, but they actually like thought it was okay, like all things considered. They're like, yeah, it's alright.
Well, for me, it's PG-13.
Yeah. It just seemed like strangely fair. Because sometimes they're like kind of unfair with their.
Yeah, I don't know. So, yeah.
It's kind of funny sometimes.
Yeah, yes.
Maybe it just depends, like, on the popular, like with the Star Wars, for instance, the Rogue One.
Yeah, they just like to be.
It seemed like they were, especially just because it was like, you know, Disney and like super popular, and everybody seemed to love it.
Yeah, exactly.
So we're like, let's be like really dumb about it.
Yeah, just to piss people.
But then something that no one really cares all that much about, they're
Yeah,
a
then
little
they
more
can.
honest.
Yeah, exactly.
Not to suggest that they weren't like being honest, like with, but I feel like they were definitely like exaggerating big time.
Yep.
Hello, how's it going? Zenonite? Am I saying that right?
Rhymes.
Yeah. I'm a poet and didn't realize. Yeah, maybe. Zenonite. Let's join the Demon Horror. Thank you. Thank you for joining. Welcome. I am saying it right. Excellent. That almost sounds like Venonite. Or no, wait. What is it? The Pokemon. Ammonite? There's an Ammonite. There's a Venonat. I can't keep them all straight now. Venonite? That sounds right. Oh my god, I rhymed again.
You what?
Rhymed again. I'm the greatest rhymer that ever lived. Yeah. Yeah. It's weird. What the hell's going on here? Are these two different colors? Rhyme Lord. Rhyme Lord. I like it. I'm doing okay. A little tired, but you know, what else is new? Just working on some stuff. Taking a bit of a break between... I gotta figure out what the heck happened here. Normally I'm working on a comic, but taking a bit of a break from that. Let's entrance for now. Color picking from here. This is not my original artwork, by the way. 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. Oh, I see. So you're, jeez, I don't even know where in the world you are. It's 11. In fact, it's 11:11 a.m. where I am. So it must be after 7 p.m. there. Jeez, it's like 8 hours away. 8 hours time difference. Crazy. I don't know if I like that color as much. Let's stick with something in between. Alright, that'll do for now. Six. Oh, it's 8 p.m. there. It's 11 a.m. here. Oh, I see what you're doing. Oh, I see. Okay, yeah, I know. I getcha. It's 6:12 p.m. So you're winding down for the day. Oh, nice. And of all the people streaming, you stumbled into mine. There's a lot of people on Twitch who stream art and art related things. It's pretty amazing, actually. Just how many people are into that. I'm going to make things easier on myself. Do it that way. So do you do much art yourself then? Or mostly just watch? I feel like a lot of people who watch art are also at least somewhat into it themselves, but I wouldn't know, really. Just seems like, to me it always seemed like kind of an odd thing for just like any, you know, Joe Blow to sort of be into. Especially on Twitch, where it's like mostly gaming stuff. not too good. Well, of course it takes a lot of, I mean, I'm sure, I don't need to tell you this, but it takes a lot of practice, really. Sort of the main thing. But sometimes you don't get a lot of time or anything like that to get that practice in. Busy work schedules and school and whatever. Me, I've been out of school for a long time, so for me it's mostly just work that takes up my time. So you're obviously not going to school for art or anything. Unless it's just like a totally different kind of art. Nope. It's pretty much the only thing, well, I shouldn't say the only thing, but probably what I excelled most in high school, for instance. I was never good at like math or science, or I was alright in English. Art was definitely more my thing. Yours seems fine to me. I wouldn't have guessed you were Estonian. I always thought that was kind of a weird, like, country name. Like, Estonia, I guess? Estonia? I don't know, it just sounds like... I don't want to say it sounds made up, but it sounds like a fantasy name. Like something from, like, I don't know, Lord of the Rings or something. Like, I don't know, you gotta go through Estonia, the land of the elves or something. But maybe that's just... So what language do you speak? It would just be Estonian? Like, is that the language? I'm curious. Oh, okay. Huh. I don't think I've ever met someone from Estonia. Sounds like a... Yeah, it does, actually. Now that you mention it, it does sound like a stone. It's probably that stone sound. I'm not even sure, like, where... I'm guessing, like, Eastern Europe somewhere would be whereabouts that is. I'm not actually sure. I don't really know Europe or, like, the layout of Europe. I pretty much know the layout of Canada, and that's it. I mean, I know where, like Britain is. It's an island. Everyone knows where Italy is because it looks like a boot. That's what everyone always says. It does look like a boot. It's ridiculous. Other than that, You recommend Googling it? That's probably the best idea. But I'm gonna do it right now since it's on my mind.
Googling what?
Where Estonia is.
Why would we go Googling?
Because I'm not sure where it is. Oh, it is like way over there.
Yeah, but what are you talking about, Stu?
Because that's where Zenonite is from.
Oh.
Only 68.7% of the population is Estonian. Interesting. Let me look at a bigger map here. Oh, okay, you're way over there. Right below that country. More than half of Estonia is forest. Oh. Interesting. You had to. That's alright. Unless it's like some kind of like Estonian joke that I don't get. But that's interesting.
What is?
More than half of Estonia is forest.
Oh.
Perhaps an enchanted forest.
Cool.
It sounds so fantasy-like. Oh, okay. Let me check. Oh, you just subscribed to Twitch Prime. Oh my god. Yeah, it didn't show up for some reason. Well, thank you. That's pretty awesome.
Woohoo.
Yeah. That would make you, I believe.
Your own subscriber.
Well, right now, yeah. But third in total, so how about that?
Oh.
Awesome, thank you. Oh, yeah, that's right. Twitch Prime members get the one free subscription.
Still subscription now?
3 seems to be your number everywhere. Huh.
What does that mean?
It's one of those things I think like, do you remember that movie with Jim Carrey, number 52 or something, where it's like you start seeing the number everywhere and you like notice these patterns?
I've never seen that movie. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I just heard about it.
I'm sure they do. They do at least, you know, if nothing else, then for like morale type thing, I guess. That's pretty cool. I appreciate it. In fact, the reason I have 95 as the number on my name is because, like, way back when I was in grade 6, I kept seeing the number 95 everywhere. So I was like, that's a cool number. It's like not quite 100, but you know, it's still a big number. I don't know. I always just like that number. Thought I deserved it. Aww. Well, thank you. Thank you again. In fact, why don't I, since this is mostly what I work on, why don't I show you what I normally work on? Which is a comic. I think I mentioned it earlier. That animation in the corner, by the way, was made by me. In case you hadn't guessed already. Let's see. I'll show you the last finished page. Because I quite like the way it turned out. Although it does look slightly unbalanced with the... Might have to add some more like black on the left-hand side. But still. You know. This is page 18. Yeah, I really like the way it turned out. I actually like the ones where there's like more like dark, like black. Maybe because it's slightly easier. But I don't know, I think that looks so cool. Like this one particularly. Yeah, let's see if I can find the one. I can't seem to find it. The one I'm currently working on. There you go. I mean, this is as far as I've gone, but... This is... page 19. Let's come along. Yeah, I'll probably be streaming it tomorrow, actually. Tomorrow morning. Well, morning for me. But this is something for Katta, where I'm actually working on the comic with. It's got a rock band rivals group. This is the band. I'll show you the other ones while I'm at it. It's a tiger. It's a guitarist. Hello! Hello, big Pokemon! How are you? I don't know if you could hear me. What time would that be? Oh, I start around 11 a.m. here, so about this time. I actually just started not long ago. A little more than a half hour ago. It's always in the morning, so it'll be evening for you. Usually I stream, I mean, this is Eastern time. And I go until about 3 p.m. my time. So you're, what did I say, 7 hours ahead? 7 or 8? So yeah, I usually stream around this time. It's 11:31 a.m. I usually try and start around 11 a.m. And it's 11:31 right now. This is the bassist. The Jaguar. It seems like zooming. No. 7 hours, yeah. And this is our, oops, and then really far, our cheetah vocalist. He's also the guitarist. He does both, because he's multi-talented. I'm gonna do like shading as well, but right now I'm working on just the flat colors. I suppose I could like finish one, then finish the other, but I don't know. I kind of want to see them all come along at the same time. Lion is my favorite. Yes it is, as a matter of fact. It is Night in the Woods. Actually, the reason I started using like video game music and stuff is because for the most part, it's mostly not like you don't get flagged or whatever on YouTube for using copyrighted music. Because I stream to YouTube as well. But I've actually been thinking about not streaming to YouTube, just because it's not, I wouldn't say it's necessarily a waste of time, but it's definitely the smallest, like, audience. And that's, you know, as far as, like, that, the music and stuff goes. That's the one that causes, because I used to play just, like, normal music, but it kind of caused some problems with YouTube. Not any serious problems. And my videos, and because it all automatically uploads on YouTube. So it's automatically basically demonetized. And depending on the music and the whatever, I don't know the technical terms, but sometimes it won't play in certain countries, like the video won't play. But there's not really a whole lot of people who check out the videos once I stop streaming. So it's really, like, I'm not really losing much there. At least I don't think so. It's just something, because there's this one, the reason I started in the first place was because there was this one website. It's not quite a streaming service like Twitch or Mixer or whatever, but it's called Watch Me Work, and that requires a few different like streaming methods, and one of them, and the easiest for me anyway to get set up, was streaming to YouTube. And I just sort of just kept it up, really, not for any particular reason. But right now I stream to Mixer, which I enjoy Mixer. It's a really awesome community there, much smaller audience, but you know, Twitch has become so saturated these days, just with like everybody and their uncles streaming. But anyway, and Picardo, I'm not sure if you're familiar with that one. Picardo. Yeah, so I'm on there as well. I just started on there actually, not long ago. There's somebody on there. Oh yeah. Yeah, that could be a problem. I haven't had any problems in that regard with like slowdown, except once when I was streaming Doom, the new one. My computer definitely couldn't handle streaming, like playing Doom and streaming it at the same time. Like it slowed down a lot. It can be pretty like intensive on your processor. What did you try streaming? Pardon me, I wonder. Oh, my computer's doing something weird. There it goes. Hiccup. Oh, okay. Yeah, it's too bad it didn't work out so well. On Fridays I do games as well, which is fun, depending on the game anyway. Yeah, you know, I've been pardon me, I've been thinking about that more lately. In fact, a few people have mentioned it. I do have Picardo, or sorry, Discord. Like I've downloaded it. I never really got into it, but I've been thinking more recently, just because several people have mentioned it, of starting. I do have like a server. Is that what it's called? Yeah. But I haven't, you know, I just sort of set it up, just sort of testing things out. But I never like advertised it or anything. And if I did, I'd probably change a few things around. Might look into that maybe on my days off. I never think about it until somebody mentions it, really. So I thought of like having it as just kind of a place for people to hang out and whatnot. I guess like I don't know what else people really use it for, but that's sort of what I thought. Dino? I don't know. I've never heard of that. I'd have to look into that, I guess. Yeah, I think that's my problem, is it was a little overwhelming. Like, here was this new sort of chat thing. I've kind of been on it a little bit, not for my own thing, like my own server, but like other ones. So it kind of makes a little more sense to me now. But it was definitely like overwhelming at first. Just the amount of sort of stuff, like different stuff. It was all different from what I was used to. So what does this bot do? Or do they just like do all sorts of different things? see. I had a bunch of bots or some stuff. It's one of these things that I kind of just like think about sort of in passing. I never really do anything. I don't like look, but I had an ink bot for Twitch. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that. It's all dependent on whether this guy's pretty much the limit. Yeah, I guess they can do pretty much anything you want, depending on if you can find it. But I never really took full advantage of Ankbot or anything. It's my own fault, really. There's no one to blame but me. But I've been kind of thinking, especially with the comic and stuff, and you know, I thought maybe it'd be fun to sort of have that in place again. I don't know, like I said, it's one of those things that just sort of pops into my head from time to time. I don't really think too much about it. That definitely sounds like something I won't do. Making my own. But it certainly is a possibility. I don't know, it sounds... I think Katta could probably theoretically make a bot. Yeah. Because he was just saying you could also have your own bot made by a programmer. I thought, oh, Katta could do something like that. Not that I'm thinking about making my own bot or anything, I'm just... Because he was just talking about Discord and all the different bots you can have and whatnot.
Discord?
Yeah.
Ah, I thought you were talking about Twitch.
Yeah, well, I was kind of talking about Twitch a little bit, but he was talking about Discord.
Oh,
But I didn't even know there was bots for Discord.
yeah, there are.
So I don't know if you're going to play around with bots myself. It's probably one of the easiest languages. Well, I'll have to take your word for it. If ever I check it out, which if I'm being completely honest, I probably won't. If I'm being honest. But yeah, I'll maybe, I don't know how I was going to finish that sentence off. I'm kind of a low effort kind of guy, so chances are I won't do that. Some say lazy, some say low effort. Most people say lazy. Clicking wrong things. Bareback, alrighty. I'll still be around.
What language is the easiest?
Python, he says, which is, I guess, a bot making. Have you heard of it?
Python. Yes, it's simple, man.
Oh, okay.
It's pretty straightforward.
I remember doing what's called, I don't know if, I may have mentioned it before, QBasic.
Oh, yes.
I remember doing stuff with that back in whatever. In fact, it was the same class I was fucking around with the Corel Paint. Coral. Whatever.
Yeah.
Communication Technology was the name of the class. But, or Comtech for short. Yeah, we did QBasic, and that was definitely, like, more than enough for me. Because, like, we had to make, like, a simple, like, program. It was, like, a multiple choice type thing. Whereas, like, if you select A, B will happen. If you select C, you know, this, if you select... So, and I couldn't get it to work. It's like, this is... And, like, I knew what I was doing. I was like, this is so simple. And yet, I couldn't find where the problem was. And I know it's all... So it was probably something dumb, like... Pardon me, like improper punctuation or something. I don't know. I don't remember how QBasic works. But I remember getting like really annoyed with it. I'm like, yeah, I'm never gonna do this. Ever. Zenith hath returneth. Zenith. Welcome back. Zenith. Zenonite. Zenon, Zenonite, Zempai, Zeni, anything pretty much. Okay. Even Zenith. Such a variety. I will probably stick with Zenonite, but we'll see. Zeni. That's the name of the currency in Breath of Fire. Is it like in all the games?
Yes. In all the games I've played, at least.
I don't know if you're familiar with that.
Me?
Zeni. I don't know if Zeni here is familiar with it. You know, It sounds like the name Kenny, which reminds me of this guy I know or knew named Kenny, which isn't really a great thing. So I knew this guy named Kenny in school, elementary school. And now I didn't really have much like concept, I guess, of like special needs kids. Now I don't even to this day I'm not 100% sure what his deal was. Like, oh, okay. Well, we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. Anyway, okay, so this isn't going to make any sense to you because there's absolutely zero context. But he was always like, he never attended like classes regularly or very rarely. He was always with Mrs. Dalton. And he and certain students were always, and it was always just like a little handful of students was with Mrs. Dalton. So I never really understood it. I just thought, oh, Kenny's, always with Mrs. Dalton. Because I think she was like a special needs person, teacher. Anyway, it's called Kenny a lot. So Kenny was an alright guy. Like, I didn't really know him that well. He was a little odd, but so this is years later. We're going forward. Maybe just like I might have still been living at home with my parents. So let's say 5 years. Let's say 5 years ago. I'm 32 right now, by the way. So this is long after high school. It's certainly long after elementary school. Hadn't seen the guy, hadn't talked to him in ages. We were kind of friends. Like, I remember going to his birthday party once. Anyway, so I saw he was on Facebook. So I thought, oh, why don't I see what he's up to? So I added him, and this was back when like MSN Messenger was still around, I think. No, it was on Skype. But anyway, so I was talking to him, and in retrospect, it wasn't a surprise, but he's gay. And I should have been surprised. I was a little surprised. But like when I thought back, I'm like, oh, okay, that makes sense. I could, how did I not know? But anyway, so we were talking for a little bit, but like almost immediately, it's like he wanted to get into bed with me. Like he was like, I mean, as far as like Skype goes, it was like hitting on me, like Skype version. And I was just like, oh my god, like I was not expecting this. So I really was not interested in talking to him anymore. But he like came on so strong, and like he was really like almost aggressive. Like he really just wanted to fuck. Yeah. Hello, Tom Webb. Welcome back. And I really just genuinely wanted to like see what he was up to these days. If he was working. But yeah, obviously he had other things on his mind. And like he would send me all these like messages. I think I either had him blocked or something. But he kept sending me all these messages, and I was like, oh my god, like, dude, get it? So then I didn't even like turn him down. I was just like, I'm not talking to this guy ever again. He's weird. He was a little, like I said, he was a little odd, but I don't know. Yeah. And that's, I mean, I'm assuming he remembered me from elementary school. Maybe he didn't. I don't remember the conversation now. But I was just like, we might have talked for like a little bit, like maybe 10, 15, but it was like almost right away. He was like, so, what are you doing later?
I'm just
okay. Gotta concentrate.
To music,
Okay, sorry. Sorry, Katta. Well, I mean, yeah. I should have just said that. Just be like, no, sorry. But like, I think like it was on Facebook. Like, I think he knew, like, because it was on Facebook. So it's like he kind of already had. So maybe he thought like that's why I contacted him because I was interested, but it wasn't. Oh well, that's my Kenny story about a guy named Kenny and why I don't particularly care for the name Kenny. And Zenny reminds me of Kenny. Because they sound the same. That's it. Well, yeah, like, exactly. I mean, he already, yeah. Well, that's the thing, too, right? Like, I wouldn't, I mean, I guess in that situation, maybe I could have just lied and be like, yeah, I'm not interested at all. You're Kenny in disguise. Oh my god. I've embarrassed myself. But yeah, I figured it was already sort of out there. Like, he knew. There was no point in being like, oh, actually, I'm completely straight. Sorry. Because I think it was already, like, he already knew. So, that wasn't really... Alrighty. So that wasn't so much an option. But it was still pretty awkward. Oops. Yeah. No, I see what you're saying, though. Like, you know, it's kind of like the opposite, you know, if like, you know, if a guy is like hitting on a girl or vice versa or whatever. I mean, girls don't tend to hit on guys so much, but and then she's just like, well, actually, I'm a lesbian, so sorry, you can't date, even if it's like completely untrue. It's like, I suppose that's one. I don't know. I don't like to lie, but like maybe in that situation it would have been like more appropriate, just because like, you know, just to really just get him off my case. Yeah, but it's one of those things, right? Like, you don't really think of it at the time. It's just like, you just sort of started saying that, and I did, like, sort of, like, had to play it off. I don't even remember what I said or how I reacted. But it was just, like, threw me for a loop a little bit. So it's like, I couldn't even think of how to respond, really. It was so unexpected. You're not gay, but you're not straight. I see. Very cryptic. So are you trying to say you're like bi, or is it just like you're not anything? You're like, I don't know. I know there's a lot of different like classifications out there, and honestly, I can't keep them all straight. Pun intended. Because I know there's stuff like pansexual and like stuff like that, and I don't know. Maybe it's just because I'm old and not very wise. I don't really get, like, I don't really know the distinction. Oh, okay. So that's simple. That makes sense to me. But like I said, there's like I don't know. There's so many different like variations. You hath returneth onceth againeth. Welcome back. Weird Autumn. Is that the name of the song? I guess it is. I've been listening to this a lot lately. Oh yeah, it is called Weird Autumn. Look at that. It's the like the Rock Band Guitar Hero type mini game. I like the first one the best, I think. What's going on here? Oh. Some fucking things up. Yeah. I wasn't very good at that. I wasn't very good at Rock Band, like the actual Rock Band either. Or I am not. I do play it on occasion. But I have to play on easy. I probably maybe could play on medium, but I don't know. It's not one of those games where I just like want a challenge. I'm perfectly fine with like mediocrity or easy-ocrity, I guess. You can't even play easy. You need some amount of hand-eye coordination. I play the drums on Rock Band, not in real life, not like real life drums. And I like that, but like I've tried a couple songs on medium, and it was way too hard for me. Oh, look at that! Flip them both in. Well, and our kick pedal is broken, so that doesn't help. But you know, they got like the kick pedal going on, and then you gotta like hit it a million times more often. I don't know, it's too hard. Too hard. Too hard for me to handle. It's almost the same shade. Stick to GTA? Yeah, that's easier. Did you play... Well, I'm sure you did play GTA 5. It's not like there's a newer one. I played through that, the single player. I didn't get into the online though, with GTA 5. I've heard it's a lot of fun. I tried it once. It was confusing. V, yeah, the new one. 5. You're playing it right now. Oh, yeah. Oh, I see. You're asking him. So you're playing GTA 5 then? Tommy boy. He's too enraptured by his game to answer your question. Oh, there you go. Yes. Tommy, that's a new one. Really? That's like short for Tom. No, wait. That's actually a little bit longer than Tom. It's short for Thomas. Unless you're just simply Tom. Play it if you could run it. Yeah, it's a good one. I liked it. The funny thing is, though, like, I didn't love the main characters, but I still loved the game. Like there's that... Oh, okay. Huh. I have a friend named Tom, and he's Thomas, and used to be called Tommy when he was younger. But that's kind of a little kid's... Like, you call a little kid Tommy, you don't call an adult Tommy. Well, some adults you do. Tommy Wiseau. Anyway, the hell was I saying? I got sidetracked. It's gone. Oh, I didn't like any of the main characters. Like, actually, I like Franklin, the black guy, the most. He seemed the most, like, normal. But, like, there was Michael. He's, like, the older white guy. And he was just, I don't know, kind of bugged me. Oh, I didn't realize this was still... That line was there. Where are we here? And, like, Trevor. Everyone seems to really like Trevor. He's, like, the crazy redneck guy. I didn't like him. Kind of drove me a little crazy. Maybe that was the point. I just found him so... Oh. I don't know, annoying. How long have I drawn for? The simplest answer is my whole life. There wasn't, like, a time where I said, I'm gonna draw. I just drew. Since, like, the earliest memory I have of drawing stuff is from kindergarten. So, you know, that's like grade, or age, like 5. Coloring, you're seeing me color now. Coloring was never my thing. Even, like, as a kid, I never really liked coloring as much. More interested in the drawing part. Yeah. I used to draw, I remember, and I don't know why I remember this. There's so much you know, just in general that I don't remember. But, I remember drawing, what I used to draw all the time was Mario and Luigi. Well, you know who Mario and Luigi are. Another fun fact, Estonia's 100th birthday is on the 24th. Oh. Cool. Canada just celebrated 150 last summer, I believe. Yeah, last summer. So there you go. That's something. July 1st. That's kind of cool. Yeah. There's a big firework. Well, there's always a big fireworks thing, but I think for the 150th, it was like especially, you know, big, especially big event. Yeah, because the big thing was Canada 150. That was trending on Twitter, and pretty much everywhere else actually, stores and, you know, merchandise, Canada merchandise, stuff like that. I'm not just telling you that. I do live in Canada, in case you weren't sure. In case I hadn't mentioned it. I'm not just like throwing out random Canadian trivia for no reason. Just in case that's what you thought. Anyway, what the heck was I saying? Oh yeah, I used to draw Mario and Luigi, my brother and I, all the time from the Mario Brothers, in case you weren't sure. Never know, I don't like to assume that everybody knows what I'm talking about, but I feel like Mario and Luigi is pretty universal at this point. Anyway, and I still remember the way I drew it. It was like, it was pretty crappy. Like, it was basically, and I remember this little girl. I don't know who it was because I don't remember her name, but I remember she was criticizing my art. She said that doesn't look like them, or those don't look like people, or something. She was really like shitty about it too. At least that's how I'm remembering it. And I mean, in retrospect, I can kind of see where she's coming from. But I would draw like Mario and Luigi. It was really simple. It was like, here's, you know, there's the hat. They need that. They had like big hats for some reason with like M. And this was like Mario, like this. And Luigi was the same, except it was an L. But I was like, I was young. I was little. I didn't know. I mean, if you think about it, like, they aren't that much bigger. Like, you know, I don't know what he looks like, but on the screen. But, like, this is what he looks like as he's running around. You know, we're talking Mario 1 and 2 here, and 3. In fact, 1990... Yeah, all 3 would have been out by then, right? Surely. Alright, I guess they do look completely different. But still, it was very nice of her. Very discouraging. You love art, but you're really bad at it. Aww. Do you ever, do you practice much? Like, do you get much in? I feel like I may have asked you that before, but I can't remember. It's not the same block. It's the same color, unless it's a little bit darker. You have to go, alrighty. If any of you would like to add me on Discord, alright, you know what, I'm going to copy and paste that. I'm going to copy it. And if I ever get around to it, I will, maybe I'll do that later today. Do when you have time, but it's not very often. Well, thanks for dropping by, Zenny. And thanks again for the subscription. That was really awesome of you. I still can't believe it. I do have some like custom emotes. I don't know how many you can take advantage of, but they're not great. I have to actually work on them a little bit more. But anyway, thanks again. Have a good one. And yeah, hopefully I'll see you later. Perhaps tomorrow. Usually I go for about 4 or 5 hours. There you go. That's supposed to be like a kappa. Yeah. Usually about 4 hours or so, give or take. It all depends on, like, I'm working tonight, so I can't stream. I can stream for about 4 hours. So I have, like, maybe 3 hours left or so. You might return later. Alrighty. See ya. And thanks again for dropping by, man. Take care. So when you do have time, Tom Webb, what sort of stuff do you like to draw or create art-wise? Like comics and things like that? That's cool. I feel like we've I've asked this before. I just I can't remember because well, if you knew anything about me at all, if there's one thing to know, it's that I have a pretty crappy memory. I do try to remember things, but a lot of the time it's like something will jog my memory. I'll be like, oh yeah, of course, I remember talking about this now. But like, I guess the thing my problem is I don't think about it long enough. But anyway, that's cool. Yeah, it's kind of hard to find time sometimes. I mean, I stream, obviously. You can see that I'm streaming, but you know, like if I didn't you know, specifically dedicate time to it, you know, like there's you know, I used to play more games and stuff on stream, but now I dedicate most of my time to the comic. And that's not a complaint. If it indeed sounds like one, it's not. But yeah, if you know, with like work, especially, it's really just work. Like I work full time on top of this, so it is sometimes difficult to find time. But I'm glad I've sort of been able to make time. Have I seen Cuphead? I have even played Cuphead. I like it a lot. Whoops. Have you played it yet at all? It's on. Is it PC and Xbox only? I can't remember now. I have it on PC. I think it's great. I have the soundtrack too, actually. It's one of these games. It's weird. There's some games I do not, for the life of me, have patience for. I'm almost done. That's awesome. I didn't lose my patience with the game. Like I tried. I played Bloodborne. Now I know everybody says, "Oh, this is like, you know, super hard, like the Dark Souls games, and blah 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 blah." So I don't really particularly like to invite comparison, quite honestly. I'm not a fan of the Dark Souls games, but I did play Bloodborne. It wasn't very good. I kept dying, as you might expect. And I knew going into it that I was going to die a lot. But I just really did not want to waste my time playing Bloodborne and dying 50,000 times. Like, I had no interest in getting good at that game. And yet, with Cuphead, even though the result was more or less the same, dying a lot, I liked it. I enjoyed it, and I found myself wanting to do better just so I could keep playing the game. Whereas with something like Bloodborne, I was like, this sucks, and I don't want to play anymore. And I'm sure it would be the same reaction to stupid Dark Souls too. But yeah, I really like it. I didn't get too far. I got probably not even halfway through. But yeah, I like it. I like it a lot. Do you play on Xbox then? Because you found me through Mixer originally, I believe. And a lot of people, which surprises me, a lot of people have stumbled into my Mixer stream on their Xbox. Like a surprising number of people. I would have thought it would mostly be PC users, and like Xbox users would kind of stick to like watching games and stuff. But no, there's quite a few that'll watch art streams from their Xbox, which is still mind-boggling, but pretty awesome at the same time. So did you find Cuphead like really super hard? Yeah. Which I 1000% appreciate, of course. Can't seem to stress that enough. So you surely you found Cuphead challenging. There's some people. I remember somebody told me. Who the hell was it? That they beat. I think. Maybe it was you. I don't remember now if it was someone in like in real life, like someone I work with, or someone on the stream said that they beat the I can't think of her name. She turns into, she's like an air, no wait. It's one of the airplane missions. She like turns into a moon for her last like phase. Anyway, someone told me they did that boss, like beat it on their like third try, and it was like bullshit. Like, it was so fucking hard. I don't know. I find that hard to believe. But maybe that's because I sucked at it. Found it very hard, but you love the game. Yeah. And that's what I was saying before. It's such a fun game. You know what I think it is, though? I think it's more... I just like looking at the game. Um... So, like stuff like Dark Souls and all that, you know, it's all dark, it's all drab, it's all, you know, very nice looking, I suppose, but there's something about Cuphead, just the animation, the hand-drawn animation, I should specify. It's just really, I just love looking at it. It's such a nice looking game, it's so, I almost said the word perfect, I guess I could say that. Just the animation is just fantastic, and the music's good. That sort of old style, you know, the 30s. You know, matches the animation pretty well, pretty perfectly, I'd say. So, yeah, even though I suck at the game and haven't played it in a really long time, I love it. It's great. So what do I play most games on? Sorry, I didn't see that message there. I was concentrating. That's a tough one to answer. Oh, sorry. Oh my god. Oh. Sorry. I guess PC. I probably have more games for PC than anything else. I do make use of my PlayStation and my Xbox, however. In fact, lately I've been using my 360. I don't have an Xbox One, by the way. I just have a 360. But I've been using my 360 and my PS3 a lot. And the PS3 I've been using to I really just use to play like PS1 games of all things. Hello there, Dylan Wiley. Assuming I'm reading that right. How are you? Welcome to the stream. Shit. But I do a lot of PC gaming as well. I don't like subscribe to a certain, like I'm not like solely an Xbox guy or PlayStation. Like I don't get into that sort of stuff. Did I draw that? Yes, I absolutely did. In fact, it might shock you to learn, I even drew the little animation guy, the little cute little demon in the corner. That's Zod. That's, well, I can't really point to it. I guess I can. Sort of. Anyway, that's, I did that as well. I play games on the Nintendo Switch as well. I haven't streamed anything off like from the Switch yet, though. Well, I mean I have, but not since I played Breath of the Wild, which was months ago. Oh no, Mario Odyssey. What am I thinking? I did that one. And that was a lot of fun. I love those two are probably my favorite Switch games so far. Although I've been playing Dragon Quest Builders lately, and I really, really like that one. Which apparently has been out for quite a while for PS4, but we just got it for the Switch. Anyway, Dylan, you want to be good at drawing. Well, man, this is the advice I give pretty much everybody who says that, which is to just practice. I know it's easier said than done, but, you know, you ain't gonna get good if you don't practice. Like, you know, like even if it's just shit, even if you're like, this is garbage, you gotta keep doing it, and you will improve. You know, Tom is now hosting me. Thank you. Thank you, Tommy B. Getting tongue-tied here. Tommy boy. That's what I tried to say. Yeah, man. You just gotta practice. You gotta like find. Dylan Wiley has joined the Demon Horde. Welcome. Oops, I'm messing up my tablet. Thank you for the follow. Yeah, you know, I mean, it all depends on what you want to draw, but like, you know, find pictures, you know, whatever influences you really. I mean, don't flat out copy it, because that'll get you into trouble, or it could. But, you know, just gotta keep going, keep doing it. Again, I realize that's easier said than done, but, you know, it's pretty much all there is to it. I mean, there are techniques and stuff, But those are things you learn along the way. You know, you're not going to become a really great artist. Well, first of all, by not drawing. But, you know, if you don't do it, basically. Yeah, I know it's pretty cliche to say practice makes perfect. But really, I mean, the sentiment still, I think, is still applicable. I think that phrase in general is kind of dumb. But, nevertheless, I think the point that phrase is trying to make is relevant, even still. Fan list, yeah. You know, I don't even know if there are command things still, like, available. I don't know what it would be. I don't even know, like, it's been so long. Commands? Command... I don't know. I don't think I have anything, like, active that can execute commands. Like, I don't even know if I have the bots. I did at one time. But it seems I do not. So, yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, but I was saying earlier that, I think before you popped in, Tom, that I kind of want to get the, I had Ankbot. I kind of like to get that going again. I don't know what exactly I'd do with it, but, you know, it's just like a passing thought I had. Your year 8 art teacher said, art is not always a born skill, it can be taught. Yeah, I think so. I would agree with that. But it does take practice. Which I'm assuming is what your point is. I feel like I sort of fit somewhere in between. uh, like, I definitely have sort of an affinity for art, but it's definitely not something I was just, like, good at right away. You know, I mean, compared to, you know, my parents, particularly my mom, would tell you I have a natural talent. I don't think that's entirely true. And I only say that because in high school and so forth, everyone was just so much better. And of course, I didn't let that get me down or deter me in any way. But it just seemed like everyone was so much, like, that much better. I thought, like, you know, obviously, like, it's not quite as natural a talent as some people might think. If indeed people are thinking that. Shit, what should I do? Then again, I think most artists in general, you know, there's always something to learn. You know, even if they're great, you know, there's always something left to learn. And I think you'd have to be pretty arrogant to think that you've learned all there is to learn. Well, I mean, if you say to clarify, if you're saying something along the lines of, oh, I'm the greatest, I can't possibly improve anymore because I'm so awesome. I guess anyone who says anything remotely like that is pretty arrogant. But if you think you're the best in general, if you're like, yeah, I'm the greatest, everybody has to love me because I'm the best artist in the world, chances are that ain't true. Because there's always someone who's better than you, no matter what. I think that's the other thing that a lot of people don't really, like, people want to get into art, but they don't really think about it. Yeah, oh yeah, if anybody just said something that blatantly arrogant, then yeah, just knock them out, do the world a favor. But anyway, I mean, I feel like there's very few people who are actually like that, but there's some artists who, you know, they get a lot of commissions and stuff, and they just think they're the fucking greatest thing that ever lived. And really, I mean, they're good, but you know, they just act like assholes. But you know, because a lot of people mistake that for confidence, and it's not really the same. Like, there's, you know, it's one thing believing you're really good. It's another to go around bragging about how good you are. That ain't confidence, that's being a dick. And that goes with just about anything, really, not just art. Yeah. Yeah, I've heard that before. I like to think I'm pretty down to earth. I don't, like, I don't know. I'm pretty much the humblest guy in the world, so yeah, pretty damn. Anyway, that's an old joke, but I mean, I don't think I've got even remotely that sort of attitude. In fact, I've got like the opposite of that attitude. I'm just like so unconfident. But you know, there's a lot of people who kind of go in the opposite direction, where they have so little confidence they constantly need like boosting, which is irritating. You know, where they're just like, oh, I suck, you know, I'm the worst, blah, blah, blah. Because they want people to be like, no, no, you're great, what are you talking about? Which is irritating as well. So it's like there's people on both ends of the spectrum. Both ends of the confidence spectrum. I mean, I'm aware of kind of where I'm at as far as like skill goes. You know, I know I'm not. I mean, obviously, I'm not great. I think I do okay. I'm confident in saying that, without, you know, a hint of bragging. And I definitely recognize there's much, much more I can learn and grow as an artist. I think people need to, like, especially artists starting out, need to also be aware of that, sort of their own limitations. Because if you aren't aware, I'm not even sure what I'm trying to say. Like, you should know, you know, your limitations as an artist. And that's how you sort of, you know, you can push to become better, is if you can kind of see where you stand, I guess, as far as, you know, skill or ability goes. I think that's pretty important. But of course, as usual, like I say, um, you know, just practice. Practice is the most important thing. I'm kind of rambling at this point, I think. Not really any kind of point I'm trying to make. Alright, we're almost done here. I have to start thinking about lunch pretty soon. Alright. I have to go to the bathroom. And I'm going to start thinking about eating something, so I will be back, pardon me, shortly. Alright, I'm back for now. Gotta go put something in the oven soon, but maybe for another 10 minutes or so. What did you have the heat set to?
22. But there's too much humidity.
Yeah.
Especially down here, so currently it wasn't even 22 yet, it's 23.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so I have to put it in 24 too.
That's weird. It's weird how like sometimes 23 is like fine.
Yeah, I think that if we're upstairs, it would be alright.
Yeah.
But whenever, I think when it rains it's worse, because then like plastic humidity gets concentrated.
Yeah, it kind of flows downstairs.
And the earth is all wet as well.
Yeah, it's really wet out.
Yeah.
7. I will be back once again. Just a minute. Hello, welcome back. How's it going? I was gone for just a second. I had to put something in the oven. Getting some drumstick action going on here. Going pretty nice. It's good. Good to hear. Things are coming along all right. Here for the drawing. Let's really just have the boots. Oh, and this thing. And that'll do it. You know what I saw, Katta, at work? On the bookshelf was the disaster artist. I was actually kind of thinking, I was actually a little tempted to like read it. It's not very big.
How much?
I didn't even look. I just saw it was there, and I was like, "Oh, interesting." It's like it's got like the movie cover on it for the book cover.
Oh, it must be a.
Yeah, and it's got, I don't know what the pictures are in the middle. There's like pictures or something in the middle, and then
So you could open the book.
yeah, and there's like a introduction or something written by James Franco, which I'm not super interested in that so much, but I remember thinking that the book sounded kind of interesting and a little more like factual than the movie was, at least from what I've heard.
Yeah.
Alright. It's
You
nice.
set a
Timer?
Yeah.
Yeah, on my phone. Oops. We have 42 minutes left. Hopefully I can get this done in that amount of time.
What do you mean done?
Well, like the main, like the base colors. Let's see what's next. You've forgotten how great the music of Night in the Woods is. Yeah, I've been listening to it a lot actually, like at work, especially. Well, and on the stream. Really enjoying it. If it's good enough. If it's good enough for me to bring to work, then it must be pretty damn good. If I do say so myself. I bought the album on Bandcamp. You familiar with that site at all? Because when you buy it through Bandcamp, the money goes directly to the artist, which I'm always support. Try to support the artist whenever I can. Just seems better than like giving it to like, you know, half of the money to like iTunes or Apple rather, or like Google. At least then you know like it's going to the artist. I have the, I got the, it's in 2 volumes, and then there's like the Demon Tower soundtrack, which is pretty cool, which is a great little, I hesitate to even call it a mini game, really, but it's, I really liked it a lot. Reminded me a lot of Hyper Light Drifter, which is one of my favorite games, especially in recent times. Oh, it's been a while since I really played a game that I really, really loved. And yeah, I couldn't get enough of Hyper Light Drifter. It's so great. There's a lot of great games available now, non-AAA games. Lately I've been playing one, I guess it would count as a AAA game. I'm not sure how popular it was. I've been playing Dragon Quest Builders lately, which I've been having a lot of fun with. I mean, it's certainly not an indie game, so I guess it's, I don't know, AAA, I guess. Published, I think, by Square Enix. I don't know if it was developed by them, though.
Yeah, of course.
Oh, okay. Is it always sort of been their property?
Dragon Quest was Enix.
Oh, okay.
What word did you say?
I said Square Enix.
No. What's the word you...
Produced?
No.
I don't know.
What was the word you just said? Square Enix's?
The developer?
No. You just said the word you don't remember anymore.
Guess not. Maybe I was gonna say probably. Like probably.
No, we said the word.
I
But I
don't.
was still speaking, so like property.
Oh yeah. Yeah, so it's like that. Like they've always made it. Or Enix, I guess.
Enix.
I guess that would count as like a AAA.
It is.
It's kind of hard to like. Whenever I think of like AAA, I think of like not cute, fun games like that. I think of like Call of Duty and Assassin's Creed and all that kind of junk that gets a lot of press. Like this one just seems so like under the radar.
Oh yeah, here, but they're in Japan. It's like massive.
Oh.
Right.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, because it's clearly not an indie title, but it didn't really strike me as like AAA. Just because it has, and I guess it's just because it wasn't popular here so much. It's not. I mean, I had never heard of it. I've heard of Dragon Quest. I just mean Dragon Quest Builders specifically.
Oh, that's something.
Yeah.
And Dragon Quest is never popular.
Yeah, like I had seen it and stuff, like, but I was never ever familiar with it. So I was just saying that lately, there's been a lot of really good games coming out.
That's good.
I need a break. I'll be right back.
Oh.
Cute cheetah. But, yeah, I was just saying, like, well, because I mentioned Demon Tower in Night in the Woods. I said it reminded me of Hyper Light Drifter, which is one of my favorite games, especially, like, recently. Like, of recent games, especially. And then I just said there's been a lot of, like...
favorite game of all time is Breath of Fire, of course.
Yeah. I guess, for some reason, even though it's like my favorite game series, I always seem to like, when people ask me, like, oh, what's your favorite game of all time? I always seem to forget about Thief for some reason.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Pokemon.
Yeah. But like, Thief 2 is probably my favorite. It's definitely my favorite of like Thief games. I wonder if that was considered. I'm trying to think of who published it back. I guess it was Eidos or Eidos or whatever. Are they still around? I have a sweet feeling they're not.
Bankrupt.
They might have.
I'll just say the word.
Bankrupt.
Bankrupt.
Because it was developed by Through the Looking Glass Studios. But yeah, they had, like, I was just thinking, like, I wonder if back in the day it would have been considered, or if it was like if it would be considered AAA. But like, they had a publisher, and like, Eidos did published a lot of games, so I guess. It's funny, like, I had no, like, back then, I just had no
thing is,
concept.
AAA, it's like a new concept because...
Yeah.
But I think it would fall in that category because they have, like, FMVs, like cutscenes that
Yeah.
are generated, 3D graphics, voice acting, and all those kind of things that are very expensive.
Yeah, that's true. And then I was saying, like, as far as like non-AAA game or like indie games go, probably uh, the Dragon Quest game is, I've been having a lot of fun with. Like as far as, because I just said like lately, there's been a lot of really great games out. I said in particular like non-AAA games. I was like, well, I guess Dragon Quest is AAA. Consider AAA. I've really been enjoying that.
Dragon Quest. Odyssey, even though pretty forgettable experience, in my opinion, was a good game. Breath of the Wild.
Breath of the Fire. And of course, I mean I guess that's not indie either, but like I've been enjoying Breath of Fire as well.
No, it's Capcom.
Yeah. It's so old though, like it could totally be an indie game. Just because it's, pixel art stuff is popular.
I don't think it could be considered an indie game because there's like a lot of mechanics in the game that make it really complex for an indie team to develop. It would take them like 10 years to. There's a lot of design choices that just feel like they clearly have a team to work on all those kind of things, especially like 20 years ago. Tons of mini games. It looks kind of simple, right? But
yeah.
I honestly think they could have like worked some mod into sprite work, made different sprites, and if you equip different things, they could work.
Oh yeah, I would have liked that.
Could have looked better.
Especially if it's like trying to. I mean, I don't know if it like came out. Did it come out before Final Fantasy VII?
No, I think it came out at the same time. I always thought it came out a year earlier, but I think it's.
Because I'm just thinking, like, if they're going up against like Final Fantasy VII, I feel like they, like, as far as like sprite work and stuff goes, like. They probably could have stepped up their game a little bit. Unless they didn't think Final Fantasy VII would have been as massively popular as it was.
So what did you say? I wasn't paying attention.
I was just saying, like the sprite work, like with Final Fantasy VII coming out, they probably, really should have like stepped up their game. With like the changing. No, just because they have to compete with like this 3D sort of game, But I don't know if they could have possibly predicted that sort of thing.
It says your initial release date for Final Fantasy VII was January 31st, 1997. And Breath of Fire 3 was released September 11th, 1997. Yeah, I always thought it came after, but because it looks so different.
Yeah. So it came after?
After.
Yeah.
9 months. 8 months.
Like, I feel like they could have. I mean, I don't know. I'm saying it like it's such an easy thing to do. But, like, considering how popular Final Fantasy VII was, I don't know, surely there was something they could have done to, like, I don't know, set it apart from Final Fantasy VII.
I think they were going for the classic, because they say, like, a classic role-playing game.
Yeah, true.
So I think they were going for the classic.
Yeah.
And I don't remember, but I don't think, like, Capcom didn't want to invest too much money in the game, so I think the development team had to make do like.
Yeah.
While Final Fantasy, like Square, I think Square only worked on RPG games, and Capcom had like.
Oh yeah, they had like everything.
Huh?
They have a lot of different things. Like Mega Man.
Like,
I don't know if they were making Mega Man games in that time, but
That was that adventure Mega Man.
Yeah, there's been a lot of like weird Mega Man games I never got into.
Yeah, but I think they had like part of fighting games and Resident Evil.
Yeah,
That's the one that goes into
Resident Evil probably would have been a big one.
Resident Evil was released 1 year earlier, so yeah, I think they were like focusing on Resident Evil 2.
Oh yeah, probably. If I increased my delay, I did not. I mean, I didn't do anything to actively increase the delay. Recently, or was it my internet since they're playing with me? I mean, I can't say for sure. I'd be inclined to say your internet, but like I didn't change any settings or anything. Twitch has always been like 20 seconds or so behind, like at that much of a delay, if not more. Yeah, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, I suppose it could be my internet. I don't know if that would affect. Not that I'm encountering any hiccups or anything. In fact, I'm not even dropping any frames. Wow. Amazing. Usually I do. Yeah, I guess. I'm not sure. Like, I don't really know a whole lot about like internet and technical stuff like that. So I don't even know like what you would do to, or even what I could do to help with that. I guess lower my bit rate, but
Lower your bit rate, not use restream.
well, yeah. Do you think if I let's say I stopped streaming to YouTube, like would that improve it,
I don't think so.
or is it just by the nature of restream?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
They must have like different servers for each service. So if you just disable YouTube, it's not going to make a difference. What could make a difference is, like, for instance, a lot of people use Restream for Twitch. So maybe Twitch has like bigger labels or something for people who stream to Twitch.
Oh, maybe. Yeah.
So I really don't understand the mechanics behind it. I cannot. As far as I understand, it wouldn't make a difference.
Yeah. Well, I guess it's hard to say, but how long of a delay is there? I'm not even sure how we could test that. What if I was just like, okay, now, and then drew that? And maybe you could, like, time it? I don't know. Or if I did that and then, like, counted, like, and then when he said, okay, now it showed up.
Now, for him to test his own delay, just send a message and then
Yeah, that makes
start
sense.
counting, and the moment the message pops on the screen, that'll be the real delay. But if you can click on the card thing, and there's like video stats, you would say. Find it at I think it's advanced. Show
Which... Oh, here maybe? Oh, I
So
see.
it would be latency to broadcaster would be from you to Twitch or restreaming feeds, and then latency to confuse me. Anyway, what valid?
Nothing's popping up. Like, I click advance and it just...
Show me the stats.
Oh, there it is. Oh my god. So what value do you want?
Latency to broadcaster and latency to encoder.
7 seconds and 5 seconds.
Then again, they're probably using like more American servers.
Yeah.
To him, it will be much higher.
Now, I just saw it. I just saw it now pop up. Just now.
Is that something?
Yeah, he just typed now. Again, above you. Like, but it's like those spaces.
Yeah, I think the best way to determine the delay is like that, because then I don't know what to do.
Yeah. Note that the stream freezes for me sometimes, so it might increase the delay. Oh. Maybe I do need to lower the bitrate a little bit. Didn't you say that mine's like slightly higher than average?
But that's the thing, right? If you consider like popular streamers,
Yeah.
it is higher, much higher. Because then, by your bitrate, I think you're like above average in the sense that some people might not have like internet speeds that are able to keep up with that.
Yeah.
I'd say you could lower it considerably, and to reach the maximum amount, you should like lower like a lot. But that's the thing that then you start compromising graphic quality. For instance, using a Felon Marsh example there.
Yeah.
He has a more accessible. You can change names.
I don't think so.
He has a more accessible bitrate, and you see that whenever there's a lot of things moving, so everything gets like pixelated and blurry.
Yeah.
But it is faster, and there's less delay, and people don't get buffering, which annoys a lot of people.
Yeah.
So yeah, opportunities.
Yeah.
What you want to keep streaming, if you want to be more accessible and reach more people, that's a shit. But then you compromise quality. My suggestion, is always like give preference for better, like lower bit rates, because you also ideally you would want more people to stream.
Yeah.
Because if you want quality, then just go to YouTube.
Right. Yeah. Good lord. Like, what is it at?
I don't know, I think it's 1800. I'm not sure. Let's check. 18 or 1600. I think we could safely reduce it to 1200. So.
Yeah. Well, maybe we could try
And
that
like
then.
popular streams go for 700.
Hmm.
But it's like awful. Like when we used to watch that. What's his name? play like Mario Maker a lot. Whenever the entire screen
Wit-wits?
moved, everything would get blurred.
Yeah. Was it Wit-wits?
Wit-wits as well. But there was another guy, he had like a bunch of weird moves.
Oh, it was a Djinn.
Yeah, that's it.
I'm still watching him actually. I'm still watching him actually.
Watching.
Yeah, like he's like following him.
Ah, yeah.
So those cats are so cute.
Yeah.
That food's really detailed.
Yeah, no, Japanese people.
I still think I like the Final Fantasy 15 food better.
Yeah, that looks like it.
Like I had to actually like do a double take when I saw it for the first time. I was like, is that a picture?
Yeah,
Like it looked like a picture.
Yeah,
Looked like a photo.
yeah, it's ridiculous. It's so much detail they put in.
Alright. Perfect time. Yeah, well, this is pretty much done. I think I'm going to go now. Head off for the day, because I gotta eat. And then it'll be close to my bedtime. I'm still not sure about the shade of his fur, but I'll look at that later. Yeah, don't goo. Unfortunately, I do have to goo. I'm just kidding around. I know you meant go. Or go like that. But yeah, I really should take off. Normally I'm on for a little bit longer, but I do have to eat still, which will take me a little while, and yeah, it's probably just better off that I just go. Unfortunately. Yeah, well, you typed it. Yeah. Alright. Well, thanks for dropping by yet again. Thanks again? Whoops, there goes my alarm. For the subscription. That's pretty amazing of you. Yeah, well, I don't know, I'm always so like weird and awkward when I end the stream, but anyway, thanks again. Thanks to everybody else. I don't have to thank you. Well, too late. Anyway, I will be on again tomorrow morning, 11 a.m. my time, working on the comic. So until then, have a good night. Good night. I'm not very good at that. I gotta practice more. And I'll see you all, everybody, later. Morning. Yes, my morning. Your evening. I have a lot of European people. I don't have the people. Followers, I mean. Yep. Just because of the time difference. Anyway, I've delayed long enough. Thanks again, everybody, and I'll see you all next time.